There's so much to explore in the world and religion of Islam, and no matter how many videos we create exploring the Muslim world, we barely even scratch the surface of what can be explored. So in this episode of FTD Facts, we are diving once again into the world of Islam, and we're taking a look at the Ahmadiyya Muslims. And the Ahmadiyya are a branch of Islam that we haven't really explored a lot here on FTD Facts, and we're taking a look at the differences between them and Shia Muslims, who we've spoken a lot more about on this channel. So welcome back to another episode of FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and as I was just saying, right, we haven't really touched the surface of Islam, so there's a lot more to explore in this episode. And now before you continue, if you love learning about the different religions, countries, cultures from all around the world, just give this video a big thumbs up. This goes for all you new faces to FTD Facts and all the old school FTD Facts viewers. Leave a thumbs up. And as a matter of fact, if this is your first FTD Facts episode that you're watching, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. Also the bell notification. Why? Because when we post new episodes, you're not gonna miss them. You'll get the alert, so you'll be able to tune in and not miss any episodes like this. Okay, so let's jump right into everything. Now, the first branch I'm gonna look at is the Ahmadiyya. The Ahmadiyya Ahmadi school of thought really emphasizes the belief that Islam is the last dispensation for humanity as revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, as well as they emphasize the necessity for restoring the true intent and perfect form of Islam, which has been lost throughout the centuries. Its followers consider Ahmad, who had appeared as the Mahdi, who had many similarities and qualities of Jesus according to their prophecies in their scriptures. And really they want to revitalize the whole world of Islam, bring some new life into it, and set in motion its moral system that would really bring about lasting peace on the planet. Now, when it comes to Shia Islam, the distinctive principles and the institution of Shia Islam is the Imamate. Now, this is a word that's used in Shia school of thought, and it comes from the word imam that means leadership. And this teaching includes the idea that the successor of Muhammad must be more than just a political leader. The imam also needs to be a spiritual leader of the people, which means this person has to be able to dive deeper into the world and mysteries of the Quran and be able to share that with the public. Shia Islam is made up of one major school of thought, and it's known as Jafariya or Twelvers. And there's other smaller school of thoughts like the Seveners as well as the Fivers. Now, those names all refer to the number of imams that they recognize after the passing of the Prophet Muhammad. The term Shia is also used synonymously with Jafariya or Twelvers also. Now, diving a little bit more into Ahmadiyya Islam, it's said that this branch of Islam is not a new religion at all. They say that the Ahmadiyya is a movement inside of Islam entirely. It doesn't deviate from Islam, and it's meant to revive the spirit and philosophy and cleanse Islam of all sorts of unnecessary beliefs and customs and different superstitions and stuff that they've practiced for years on end. As well as they're really focusing on preaching the true religion of Islam to non-Muslims with a lot of excitement and enthusiasm like early Muslims used to do. The Ahmadiyya movement inside of Islam was founded by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, India in 1889. And the followers of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad really believed that he was the same Messiah who was prophesied by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and all Muslims were to look forward to his arrival. His followers called themselves Ahmadi Muslims only to differentiate themselves from members of other Islamic branches, and they also claim to follow the Orthodox religion of Islam. So Ahmadi Islam is not as big as Shia Islam. There's approximately 4 million Ahmadis that live in Pakistan, which has the largest population of Ahmadis in the world. Now, excluding some other smaller nations, the country with the largest proportion of Ahmadiyya Muslims is Ghana, and that sits at 16% of the country's total percentage of the population. Then there's Sierra Leone, where it sits at 8%. 1%. So this population is not a massive population, and it's almost entirely contained into a single organized and united movement, and it's commonly referred to as the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, or the AMC, and this is headed by the Khalifa. The other community is the Lahore Ahmadiyya movement, and this is a separatist group which throughout history has significantly failed to attract a larger following, and they represent only 0.2% of the Ahmadiyya population. Now, when we dive into a little bit more of the beliefs for Shia Muslims, they believe in the 5 pillars of Islam, or more commonly translated to the 5 principles of the religion, and these are the 5 fundamental principles of Islam. Now, these pillars vary from the Sunni Islam pillars, who Shias simply believe are just important obligations to follow, rather than being the pillars of the Islamic faith, as the Sunnis believe. But in any case, the 5 pillars of Shia Islam are as follows: the oneness of God, which is known as the Tawhid, the justice of God, the Adl, as well as the prophethood, known as the Nubuwah, the leadership of mankind, which is Imama, and the resurrection, the Mi'ad. In the country of Iran, Shia Muslims make up the majority, and they total 95% of all the Muslims in the entire country. And real quick, just before I continue with this episode, I'm just letting you know that we do have a dedicated playlist to videos that we've done about the religion of Islam. We'd have a lot more into different branches, as well as the history and some of the customs and the beliefs. So you'll learn a lot when you watch this playlist. It's packed with videos. I highly recommend it. I'll have the link down below in the video description box. I'll also link to it in the card section of this episode, as well as I'll have a link to it at the end of this episode. So if you watch those videos and you're still looking for some topics about Islam that you want to learn about, that you haven't seen already, maybe just leave a suggestion down below. If we're not working on it already, we'll take a look at your suggestions and definitely do a video about it. So I've looked at some of the differences between Shias and Ahmadiyyas, but now when it comes to the big differences, there are basically 3 beliefs held by Ahmadiyya Muslims that completely separate them from Sunnis and Shias. And these 3 beliefs are the finality of Muhammad's prophethood, Jesus Christ's ascension to heaven, and the identity of the promised Messiah. So what do these beliefs actually entail when you break them down? So when we look at the finality of Muhammad's prophethood, in verse 41 of Surah Al-Ahzab, the Prophet Muhammad was given the title of Khatama Nabiyyin, which is the seal of the prophets. A majority of Muslims interpret this to mean that Muhammad was labeled as the last prophet and no new prophet can come after him. Now, according to Ahmadiyya Muslims, the expression of the seal of the prophets does not mean that the holy prophets are gonna stop and then this is the last prophet. However, they look at the seal as a mark or a distinction. In this case, it applies to a perfection of the prophethood. Ahmadiyyas believe that prophets will continue to pop up. However, a newer prophet after the Prophet Muhammad must be a follower of his and must be from within the culture and religion of Islam. Now, when it comes to the belief of Jesus ascending to heaven, the main belief in Islam is that Jesus was not put on the cross and that his place was taken by someone who looks like him. And Jesus, according to their belief, was physically raised up to heaven. Ahmadiyya Muslims believe that Jesus was actually put on the cross, but only for a few hours. And they believe that Jesus, after recovering from his injuries, traveled to the east to Kashmir, where he died a natural death and remains buried in a tomb. And the final main difference is the identity of the promised Messiah. So there's a majority of the Muslim world that believes that Jesus himself will return one day as the Messiah. However, Ahmadiyya Muslims believe that since Jesus has already died, it can only be someone else who can appear as the Messiah. And Ahmadiyyas believe that the promised Messiah has already come in the person of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salam of Qadian. So these are the main differences between Ahmadiyyas as well as the other Muslims, Shias, Sunnis. As you can tell, these 2 schools of thoughts have some completely conflicting views, it looks like anyways. So do you believe that these 2 different schools of thoughts can actually be reconciled into one common belief? Is there some misinterpretation? Do you believe that the Messiah has come already? Let me know down below in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts and comments about this, because your voice and your opinion, like, it really matters, and I love learning from each of you when you leave comments down below. Okay, so that's all I have for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and coming here to another episode of FTD Facts and learning with me. You can find the links to my social media. Those are below in the video description. Shoot me off a message. Let me know what you think about these episodes, and ask me anything that you want. I'll do my best to reply to as many of those messages as possible. Until the next episode, stay awesome, stay educated, and I'll see you next time in another episode. Hey everyone, so for the playlist of Islam, here it is, where you can learn more about the religion. And if you also want to expand your knowledge about other religions and other topics here that we cover on FTD Facts, we also have playlists for that as well. And don't forget to tune in to FTD Facts every single day for more educational episodes. I'll see you soon.